Welcome to the Shreveport Connection with Tommy. This video is going to be about TNA. Spoilers for next week, being the 29th. And some brief WWE news that I just found out. And here we go. Happy birthday to Sting from 2 days ago now. He turned 53 years old. TNA lost their national DVD distribution deal. The distribution partner, Navari, is getting out of the DVD distribution business. TNA is currently looking for a new partner. So, all their pay-per-views might be put on hold and other shenanigans and what have you. RVD is scheduled to return to TNA at this week's live events, but did not happen. Okay, well, not at the TV tapings, but at the live events scheduled for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. He's booked against Robbie E. and is not currently backstage for the Impact tapings. TNA's big Twitter push at Victory Road pay-per-view was said to be an idea of Dave Lagana. Bruce Pritchard is not at this week's Impact tapings as well. Well, we're going around that he took some vacation time to deal with some personal issues. Several TNA contracts are expiring in the near future, including the current deal for X-Division champion Austin Aries. And from the reports, it looks like he may be turning face next week. Karen and Jeff Jarrett were in Mexico over the weekend for AAA's Rey de Reyes event. Jarrett dropped the AAA Mega Heavyweight title to El Mesias in the main event, as I gave in yesterday's results. WWE and TNA are negotiating the thing with Ric Flair for the 2012 Hall of Fame for WWE ceremony in Miami. At least no word yet. No deal has been made yet, but it said that TNA is asking for much in return from WWE. TNA is said to be very open to allowing Flair on WWE TV. Regarding the negotiations, there's no word yet on what's going on with that situation, so don't look for WWE to plug TNA's product in any way, but there will likely be some form of compensation for TNA, allowing WWE to use their talent. Speaking of WWE, a WWE source notes that The Rock's reference to Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair on Monday's Raw Super Show were an indication that in WWE's general universe, TNA does not exist. Kurt Angle apologized for his earlier comments on Twitter about Stone Cold Steve Austin and Shawn Michaels on Twitter. Angle had ranted about several topics on Twitter last night and said that he became a superstar in 1 year while it took Austin and Michaels 15 years. Angle wrote this afternoon. I do want to apologize to Shawn Michaels and Steve Austin for my comment. Without them, I would have never had my opportunity in pro wrestling. Kurt Angle, who is suffering from a rib injury, has told GoErie.com that his chances of making it to the Olympics are slim to none. Angle also talked about his health, and he's quoted by saying, "I've been beating myself up a lot. When I came back and started working out for the Olympics this time, I kept getting hurt. I popped a patellar tendon, and then I popped an Achilles. Then I blew out my hamstring. I went to the doctor and said, 'What's going on? I'm a machine. I don't get hurt.'" Unquote. He said, "You're over 40. Things are going to happen to you unless you train. So I spent 4 months training just to get ready to get back on the mat." And that was it. Well, I found some news of what happened after TNA's Victory Road pay-per-view went off the air. The crowd chanted, "Fire Bobby," as Bobby Roode continued to stand over Dixie Carter and Sting. Agents D'Lo Brown, Al Snow, and Pat Kenny finally came out down to help out Dixie. Brooke Hogan was also at ringside for the Victory Road pay-per-view. She got involved with the Robbie E. versus Devon TV title match, taking a steel chair away from Robbie. TNA featured Twitter more than usual on the pay-per-view, as some of the stars trending worldwide were Gail, Kim, and Devon. And now for your brief WWE news. Lillian Garcia messed up at last night's SmackDown tapings in Newark, New Jersey several times, as she announced Zack Ryder as Long Island Ice Z Jack Swagger. This led to John Cena bringing out Tony Chimel and Zack Ryder for the dark match main event cage match. Cena said he was bringing someone who was a professional. Chimel began to introduce Ryder, but they kept cutting his mic off out to rib him. Finally, Cena did the proper introduction for Ryder. The whole thing was done to apparently embarrass Lillian Garcia. Well, with all that, I don't see any embarrassment with that. Okay, World Heavyweight Champion Daniel Bryan is reportedly dating WWE diva Brie Bella, and not AJ. WWE recently kicked off the new feud between the Bella twins with the segment with Bryan with the backstage with AJ and the Bellas. Last week's SmackDown, AJ defeated Nikki Bella after Daniel Bryan stopped Brie from making the twin switch. WWE.com speculated that Bryan got involved in the match and prevented the Bellas from switching because he was still emotionally scarred by breaking up with the Bellas from the TV scripting of the relationship, whom he was romantically linked to on-screen last year, as I was just discussing. Well, the Love Square, a love triangle with 4 people, continued at Tuesday's SmackDown tapings, as you can see in the result that I gave earlier for the SmackDown results. With AJ wrestling Brie Bella and Daniel Bryan getting involved again. And now what everybody's been waiting for, thanks to Eric for the following TNA Impact Wrestling spoilers for Tuesday's tapings in Orlando. These will air on March 29th. Well, Bobby Roode came out and he's surprised by security. He rips into Dixie Carter and Sting before talking about lockdown, guaranteeing a win over James Storm. Storm comes out, but the security team stops him from attacking Roode. Bully Ray then comes from behind and lays out Storm. Ray and Roode versus Storm is made for later in the night. So far it's a handicap match, but two more matches later, and it's a tag team match. Alright, the first match is Matt Morgan and Crimson brawling to the back, so I guess that was a no contest. Or an impromptu match. We'll just have to wait how they do it on TV. Velvet Sky defeated Madison Rayne. Velvet cut a promo after the match and says she's coming for Gail Kim's knockout title. Austin Aries comes out and talks about Bully Ray stopping the X Division match from last week. Aries is put in the match with James Storm as a tag team partner versus Ray and Roode for later for your main event. Mr. Anderson defeated Jeff Hardy after an interference from Kurt Angle. So could this be Mr. Anderson's heel turn? We'll have to wait and see how that happened as well. Eric Bischoff calls out his son Garrett and they talk, which sets up Gunner versus Garrett again in another match at Lockdown. James Storm and Austin Aries defeated Bobby Roode and Bully Ray. The end came when Roode drank some of Storm's beer and accidentally spit it in Ray's face. Storm hit the last call for the win. And the last segment of the TNA Impact Wrestling is Dixie Carter calling out Hulk Hogan to end the show. Dixie talks about how the new authority role and how she wants Hogan to take it since Sting stepped down. Hogan doesn't seem interested and comes out. And out comes Sting with some of the TNA babyface wrestlers. Sting puts over Hogan and talks him into accepting the job. Hogan is the new man in charge of TNA. And that ends my results for next week's, the 29th Impact Wrestling show. Thanks for viewing, and Monday will be Raw, Superstars, Partials, and yada yada yada. Well, if there's any more tapings tonight, I'll post it tomorrow. Thank you, and have a nice weekend.